Hello guys, and welcome back. It's Orlando here, and with the Munoz little farm journey. So today I wanted to share with you guys. So if you're new to my channel, I've been working on a chicken coop, a mobile chicken coop, and one of the things I want to put in there is a rain barrel to collect rainwater when I put the mobile coop out in the fields, and I don't have to drag the water back and forth. So I want to use the water that comes, when it rains. Reasons why you may want to make a rain barrel for yourself. I mean, you might want to collect it for your garden or your off-the-grid cabin or whatnot. It's a good tool to have to be able to collect the water that just rained on us, and where you may not have access to running water all the time. It's a good resource to have and to be able to collect that water. So yeah, with that being said, I did look on Amazon for a rain barrel. And it was amazing to see that it would be like anywhere from 80 to 200, 300 bucks for a rain barrel. So what I decided to do is I'm gonna make my own, right? So what I did, it should be pretty simple. What I did is I went out and I bought my barrel here. That was 10 bucks, right? And then I bought a water spigot that I'm gonna put in it, and that was 18 bucks. And then I got a couple other added things that I bought, but in general, this shouldn't cost me more than 40 bucks, 45 bucks to make this barrel. That's been in a high price. So some of the things that you may need, so for my purposes here, I got the barrel. I already bought the pre-made. I bought that through Facebook Marketplace. I bought it for 10 bucks. I got the water spigot on Amazon, and I'll put the link of that right there. I'll put the link for that one below so you guys can find it. Now I'm also going to work on a collection where I want to be able to collect the water and put it into the barrel. So for me here, I'm going to need just a small piece of 2-inch PVC pipe. I got an adapter or a coupler. This goes from 3 inches to 2 inches, depending on what you might be working with. What I'm working with my downspout is going to be a 3 inch is going to work. You may need to use a 4-inch in yours. And then I got a little clamp here and some screen protectors for the windows. I got some of that material. The reason I'm going to use these to be able to filter out water that goes into the barrel, and to keep any mosquitoes or bugs to go into the barrel. Because I don't want them to go in there. I might not do this today, but eventually I'm going to put like an overflow valve to it. So so if it rains too much, it'll overflow, and then it'll go down in the floor where we want it. One thing I do want to tell you guys, I mean, there's when you buy your barrel, you gotta be careful, because so for me, I'm using it for my chickens. You might be wanting to use it for your plants, or for whatever purpose you may want it. You may want it for just for water to be able to clean your hands or whatnot. But there are a lot of barrels out there for sale. For me, because I'm feeding this water to my chickens, I want to make sure that I don't want to put any contaminants in their bodies or anything. So I make sure that this barrel is strictly used for soy sauce here. Some barrels are used for harsh chemicals, and you don't want to take that risk if maybe those chemicals didn't get washed out correctly, and you might pass it on to your chickens, or you might pass it on to your plants or your food or to yourself. But yeah, that's one thing to look out for when you're looking for these barrels. All right. Now, the second challenge I had, it said most barrels that you see, you might be able to open up the lid and then get in there, right? So I bought this one specifically because I got a couple prices I want to do. So I didn't want it to be able to open them up. I wanted to have this ones where I only had the 2 access points here. Now the challenge with this is to be able to put the water spigot down there, because of course you can't take it off, so you can't reach in there. So so what I'm going to use for that is you can use a piece of wire, a piece of rope or whatever. I had a piece of rope, but I can't find it. So what I'm doing, I'm literally just using my cell phone charger that I'm going to use to put it in there, and then to be able to get that spigot down to where I need it. All right, so make sure you get something like that. But yeah, this should be pretty simple to do. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you some of the things that we're gonna need. So we got the water spigot that we bought from Amazon. It does come with instructions, so you know it's easier for you to use. But you get your Teflon tape, and then it's a two-part system here. So, oops, I'm gonna drop that. Okay, so this is the spigot, and you can change it with a different fitting if you wanted to. But this is the one that's actually gonna attach to the barrel inside. So it does open up the, you know, usually you go righty-tighty, lefty-loosely. This one's the other way. So lefty is tighty and righty is to the right is loose. But it does come with a rubber seal that's going to go inside the barrel. Here's the wall of the barrel, and then this is going to come in the outside, and it's going to catch it, right? And then once we secure it, then we put the water spigot there where you want it. Now for this hole, you are going to need something to drill a hole with. For me, I got my, you know, I just got a little tool I use this for to do holes in the drywall or wood, whatever. But that's what I'm using. You're gonna need a 1 1/4 inch socket to be able to make a hole that's big enough to get that fitting in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep mine here. And you might also need, you know, a drill or whatever, depending on what you're using to dig your holes. Okay, so should be good for us. All right, so I am working in the kitchen today because I don't want to go outside. It's like 5 degrees out there, and it feels like just really cold. I mean, this is in the negatives. So I did ask Kelly. I asked for permission if I could do this in the house, and I told her I promise I'll clean when I'm done, because she did just clean this out, the kitchen here. Anyway, so here is the barrel. Now for mine, you gotta keep in mind your collection is gonna be coming to one of these. So then that's gonna decide where, you know, where you want to do the hole in your barrel. For me, the way I'm using it, my water's gonna come this way, and the way I'm gonna position it in the coop, I actually want my water to be able to come out from the side of it. All right, so I'm gonna come right here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I mean, depending on what you're using. So for me, for the coop, this is gonna be elevated already, like a good 2-3 feet. I'm sorry, and so it really doesn't matter where I put my water spigot, right? Now, if you're doing it like in the, let's say in the side of your house or whatnot, depending if you're gonna raise it or not, you may want to decide where you want to put this with the water spigot. Just because if you put it too low, you know, it might be hard for you to get in there with the ground being right here, to able to get a hose in there and have it work to your advantage. So if you're putting it on the ground, you may want to put it a little bit higher, you know, maybe 5-6 inches or higher, depending on what you want. Just keep in mind that the higher you go, that just means that that's water that you won't be able to use here coming out, right? So this is a 55-gallon drum. If I put it down here, I'll be able to use most of the water that's going to be going in there. And you know, and that's kind of like what I want. But depending on your setup, I mean, you may want to put it higher, because a little bit of water in the bottom might give you more stability for your bucket as well. You know, when it's outside, so it won't be tipping over. So, but you know, just adapt it to whatever need it is that you're doing, and then go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put mine probably about like 2-3 inches off the ground, because I really want mine to be a little bit low. So I'm gonna just kind of mark it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and drill my hole. Okay, there you go. That came out pretty, some pretty clean cut. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just feeling the inside. Well, if you notice, I didn't go too fast either, because I didn't want to. See how you got all the crevices out here in the outside. If you guys can see that, I didn't want to create that inside, because you know it affect the seal of the spigot in the inside. But the inside is actually pretty smooth. You know, I go slow. I went slow for that purpose. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take my utility knife and I'm gonna peel this area off right here to get this off. Okay, now that we get the clear off, I just want to check real quick to make sure that the hole is, yep, it's big enough for my my feet in here. So the goal is that that's gonna come in like that, but now we gotta, the goal is that we gotta get it from the inside to come out this way. All right. So this is where we have to go fishing for that with our. I'm going to use my cell phone charger here. I'm going to put it down just because it's kind of high for me here. I'm putting my cable in there. You can almost see it. You can see it just hanging right there. I just saw it. Okay, so I got it. Okay, so I got that cable coming out right here. Now what I'm gonna do so it doesn't move on me, I'm just gonna take a small piece of tape and I'm gonna tape this here so it holds it in place and it doesn't go back in as I dropped all the piece in there. So I got the other end over here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I want the front of it to go in first, right? Because that's the first part that we want to come out in the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in there. And that should guide it all the way to the bottom. So we should be able to catch it up easier. Okay, so yep, you can see it's right there, just picking at us. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it through. Remove this tape. And I got it right here. All right. So now I'm gonna take the washer that came with it, I'm gonna put it in there first. You kind of have to put your finger in here and hold it so it doesn't go back up in on you. If you notice, I didn't take the cable out just because if it does go back in, I want to be able to fish it back out. But take your washer, put the big flat end. We're gonna put that towards the barrel. Now at this point, you can go ahead and probably pull out your cable or string or whatever you have and it's out of the way. Yep. You gotta remember this is left is tight and not right. So right now I just got it finger tight because I want to be able to put my spigot in there and then I want to make sure I'll be able to move it to the position I want it. Now once I have it where I want it, then I'll go ahead and take my pipe wrench and then we'll tighten it up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use the Teflon tape that they included in the package. Now, if you see my channel before, I kind of talked about this. You know, my dad always told me when you put on Teflon tape, you go with the grooves, right? So the grooves are going this way, and that's the same way I want to go with my Teflon tape. So that when we tighten it in there, it just makes it tighter, creates a better seal. If you're not new to my channel, you already know I like to be generous with it. Just because I don't want to have any leaks. Even though this one won't be a big deal because it'll be outside, you know, it won't be in the house. So I mean, if we do have a leak, it won't be too much of a big deal. But at the same time, you know, if you're gonna do a job, you might as well do it right. So, all right, so we have enough Teflon in there. Let's should give us a good seal. So I'm just gonna rip it off and then put it in here. Okay, so now it's getting to the point where it just starts spinning. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up this one in the back. So I'm just gonna hold it and I'm gonna turn it to tighten up my water spigot here. Once the water spigot is tight where I want it, then I can go ahead and adjust this one so that the water spigot is facing down. Now I gotta tighten up this one so it's nice and secure. It's not moving and I don't have any leaks. There you go. And then this right here should be working now for our water. So now I'm gonna work on top so we can do the connection so that we can collect the water. So here's my material, my box screen that I'm gonna use for that. I had this leftover from our old house when we I redid the screen doors going to the patio. So I got it left over from that. I just need a small section here. I'm gonna do it on top of the barrel. That way we're not scratching the counters. It's not a regular just flinchy one. It's actually pretty thick one and resistant. I bought it because you know, we had our boxer in our lab. They used to jump up on the screen and used to break it all the time. So this was actually pretty good resistant for them, even with their nails and how big of animals they were. So what I'm doing, I guess, you know, you could do it different ways. Whether, you know, if you want it to be flat. For me, I want my pipe that's coming down my nostril is actually gonna go in here. So I'm gonna give it some slack here, so that water spout actually can go inside of here, right? I'm gonna take my O-ring here. I'm gonna secure it. There you go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up so it's nice and secure and it won't be slipping off. Okay, you can go ahead and cut that excess off so it's not just hanging. Depending on what you're using this, like for me, you know, my coop, actually the roof of it, I did it with shingles. So I don't know if you guys ever clean your gutters, you get all those little rocks from the shingles, you know, they come out and they go through the downspouts all the time. I don't want that stuff in my barrel. Even though it'll probably sink to the bottom, but it's still, you know, it's a foreign material that, who knows, when it's in water, it might dissolve, and whatever chemicals are in it when they make it, they might go into the water and onto the chickens. But I didn't want that, so that's why I did the screen right here, and this should filter my water that's gonna go into my barrel here. Now that's a 2-inch right here, and this 2-inch, it'll be kind of tight, and I'm not gonna do it quite now just yet. But once I get it, you know, use my glue, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glue it in here, and then I can hammer it in to where I want it. But I'm gonna wait and do that until once I get this glued in there, and I can actually measure it for my coop, and then I can put it where I want it. All right, so we got that one. We have another access point here. So like for me, if I want to put some nitrous for the chickens, you know, or any additives to the water, I can put them in through this hole here. And I think I'm going to do my overflow either on this side or I might do it on this side. But I'll do that later. I think with what I have here going on, I think should be a good representation for you guys of, you know, what you can do for a rain barrel, for whatever use you may have in your area. Like I said, I mean, I'm using this for a chicken coop. You can use it for an off-the-grid cabin, or even if you're in the city, you know, you can collect the water from the rain and then use it in your plants. But yeah, I hope there's a good shot of it. You know, you got the water spigot down there, and you got the top, the collection here to be able to filter that water. Now there is a way, I guess you could do another little section to filter water before it even gets to the bucket. You know, to collect all the leaves or whatnot, and you can be able to swap those out. That's pretty easy to do. I think this will work for the most part, but you know, if you want to see a video of that, I guess I could do one. Let me know if you want to see that in the comments, and then we can do a small video on that. But for what I needed, this is gonna do it, and I think it's gonna be good for our chickens here. So I hope you like what I showed you here, and then like I gotta keep my promise, so I gotta clean my mess over here, and then we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.